This is the Bahamas, the gift each and every one of us has been given, and it is up to us to give back and take back now to ensure that our Bahamas thrives. We have everything we need right here. Women and men of pride, capability, and resolve, youth of curiosity, intelligence, and energy, entrepreneurs, sophisticated business people, dedicated to making the Bahamas the best it can be through partnership and purpose. We are visionaries who dare to build a nation that is safe, secure, and serene, a united people committed to making it so. Our future is in good hands, our own. We are Bahamians for peace, prosperity, and progress.
Good morning, Bahamas. Today is Tuesday, June 28, 2016. My name is Valentino Brand, alias Scrooge. I am a community leader and also a community activist. These are two very different titles, and I'd like to explain it. Community leader is a person who goes out and bring resources back to their community. He is one who talks, but also go and does the work. For instance, I'm just saying that you look at conditions in your community, you know the resident, you campaign to bring relief, not just talk. And a community activist is a person who speaks on all issues that affects his country, his people, and also what goes around the world that is not right in the world. And as a community leader, I wanted to make a difference in my country and my community, to speak out and to bring a resolution to the problem that we are facing in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, especially the inner city communities, which things are very, very tough on a variety of different persons living here in this country. You know, increase in grocery items, increase in light bill, increase in oil, increase on school items for kids and groceries, etc. So it's very hard for Bahamian people living in this country, especially those that live in the inner city community where there are thousands of persons living in the community, and the cost of living are very expensive. Knowing that, and also living in that environment, I think it's very important that we not just sit around and always point the finger. We normally point the fingers at the politicians, we normally point the fingers at the pastors, we normally point the fingers at the parents, and we always point the fingers at one another. Maybe just say, point the finger isn't getting no one nowhere, because we are pointing enough fingers and we now know the problem. So move on by getting yourself involved. You may not say you can't make a difference, things tough. You need money. No, if you put your trust in the Almighty Father, everything else would be provided to you. And take, for instance, me as a young man. I've been working the last 20 years in this country, but fighting for what's right in the country and being a person to speak out for the people who don't have a voice. They have a voice, but there's no media voice. So I took up that challenge and I fought to get myself in a position, once the opportunity was given to me, so that I can make a difference in my country. If you listen to a show that was was given to me as a gift on Guardian Radio 96.9 inside the inner city that premieres every Friday at 6:30 to 7:30 on Guardian Radio. Talk about the issues that we face in this country. You know that it's like one out of a million to actually have a talk show host or to have a show on any particular show in this country, because it requires qualification or who you know. For me, I was given this great gift, an opportunity. So the sky's the limit. Like I said, it's one out of a million for a person in my background to be put in a position as to be a radio personnel in this country. You know, you have to be very rich, or you have to be someone who has some kind of connection in this country. So that's why I say if you put God first. Knowing that, now let's get down to business. As a young man, living up in the inner city communities, me and my friend Hugo, you know, he's doing an excellent job and actually providing us the video footage. We've been around to some homes in the community, not in Grandstand, but in Baintown. Stopped at 1 or 2 homes. Same condition that's in Baintown is also in Grandstand, some of the homes. And knowing the condition over the last 20 years that people has been living in, it's not that the people don't want to clean up their yard or they don't want to better their lives. The problem is, like I said, is they have lost their will to survive, and some have accept what it is as what it is. But me and you are not going to accept that and lie down and play dead. So you need to bring relief to the families and to the people that live in inner city communities. Most of these homes are situated throughout the whole entire Bain and Grandstand. So you have to walk through and pick out these homes and bring relief to those persons. Because if we could uplift the lives of those in need, then we could show love. And people would start to say, you know what, people are helping us, and gives hope again to the country, because this can change the concept on how we look at our neighbors. Our neighbors are giving back now. So knowing that and want to do more, I myself cannot do it because I'm not a rich young man. So all I do is I have a voice. So I use my voice to spread the news on the radio. But recently, I was invited on Mr. Jeffrey Lloyd of the sister station of Guardian Radio 96.9. Jeffrey Lloyd is one of the most outstanding journalists and talk show hosts in the country for the last 30 years. And I was invited on a show about 3 months ago to talk about the conditions that the everyday behemoths are facing in the Bain and Grandstand and the whole archipelago of the Bahamas, which is 700 islands and 700 keys spread over 600 square miles. After being on the show, Mr. Jeffrey Lloyd, he himself wanted to see for himself the conditions I spoke about on the show. And me, along with Hugo, we took him to a home in Baintown. Once he rented his home, he asked if this is the home. He couldn't believe this is a house still in the 2016. He went, looked in the window. Before he went and looked in the window, he was greeted by a certain person, an elderly man. I don't want to call his name. And he was welcomed with open arms. Even though people are living in bad conditions, they still are peaceful and friendly and kind. And that's the good thing about the Bahamas. You know, people could be doing very, very bad, but at the same time, they don't take their frustration out on other people. And he greeted Mr. Lloyd, and Mr. Lloyd asked him a few questions. He asked him, he told him that him and his wife live in a house. He has a disabled daughter. She has 2 children. You know, he has a few grandchildren that stays in there. His light has not been on from 1997, et cetera, et cetera. So Mr. Lloyd asked him to look around in the home. He didn't personally went inside the home, but he walked around the home, front window. He peeped in the front window, met the disabled daughter, and she was very welcoming to Mr. Lloyd. And then he went to a second window where the kids were in the back room. You know, the house was wooden, but you could see where it has deteriorated to not a livable home for nobody. But under circumstances has made these people in this position, and we as citizens of the country have to give back regardless. So Mr. Lloyd checked, saw the situation, asked. There were 2 schoolgirls going to CC school, you know, and then he went to the back. He went to ask, where's the bathroom? So the gentleman, the elderly gentleman, pointed to a structure that was in the back of the yard, about 6 feet away from the back door. And Mr. Lloyd actually walked there and passed it. He must have took it for a chicken coop or something. So I and along with Hugo pointed and said, "This is the bathroom." You know, he said, "What?" You know, it was actually a chicken coop with a tin roof, square tin roof. You know, and they had a outside toilet. You know, and they would use that as their bathroom. Mr. Lloyd started to, I tell him, you know, take some pictures of the bathroom. He said he already had. I said, "You have not?" And I told him to take 2 more. So I actually hold the door open just a little bit. And then he pointed the camera in, he took 2 more. And then we walked with the gentleman around his house home. You could see where everything has deteriorated to unlivable conditions for any human being in the country. And then we end up to the front part where the tamarind tree was, and outside in the front was a outside hand pump. And this is what they use to get water, which is the way all Bahamians used to live about 40 years ago. Today, we have electrical pump and stuff like that now. So that hand pump is completely out of date. You know, this they use. Like I said, the people light were off from 1997. And not to point fingers at no politician and no pastors. There's no time for that no more. It's time for us as Bahamians to help one another the best way we can. And if we can reach, this is how we can reach. So after saying this from Mr. Lloyd, after Mr. Lloyd saw these conditions with his own eyes, he asked me how many more people are living like this in the country. I told him, said, to cover that, you would need to have persons with eyes and ears on the ground to really cover that. So saying that, Mr. Lloyd started to talk to the owner of the property, and Mr. Lloyd came to tears. He started to shed 1 or 2 tears, and Hugo was there, and I pointed to Hugo, and Hugo, you know, saw him holding his face. So after Mr. Lloyd saying that, shed his tears, so been a talk show host for over 30 years, and to see him come to tears could tell you that things are really rough and tough in the country. So Mr. Lloyd and myself and Hugo left, guaranteed the family that we would assist, and he would assist any way possible to help them. And then Mr. Lloyd made his major announcement about a month ago that he would take the mantle up, similar to Urban Renewal, which is doing an outstanding job. I once criticized Urban Renewal. Yes, they have their flaws, but at the same time, and as a young man, I have to give credit where credit is due. They're helping out a lot of families, repair homes in the inner city communities. I just like to give them props, you know, because, like I said, I've reached a point in my life now where I've stopped pointing the finger, and they're doing something. You know, Mother Prad and Arlington Island, they might They might have made one or two mistakes, but it's time to move on. The organization might have made one or two mistakes, but I think it's time now that we have a mature Bahamas, and I think now that credit should be given to those who are doing credit. They're helping out a lot of families in inner city communities. Not as much as is needed. So that's why I applaud Urban Renewal, and that's why I'm going to applaud Bahamians for Peace, Prosperity, and Progress. It's an organization started by Mr. Jeffrey Lloyd. This organization started because of the initiative of me going on the show and talking about the conditions of you people. Now, he has taken up the mantle now to also assist with inner city reconstruction of the homes. So this is what you can do to make your country better. This is what you can do to help your brothers and sisters, even though you might not have no money, but if your heart is in the right place, and as you continue to struggle for what's right in this country, and to do not settle for just money. Money will come to you, but money also is the root of all evil. So if you don't love money, God will bless you no matter what, because He knows your heart's in the right place, like how I'm getting blessed now. And I'm being blessed now because my heart was in the right place. There are many people out there advocating for the poor persons, but are their heart are in the right place. Your heart needs to be in the right place in order for great things to happen, to get persons like Mr. Jeffrey Lloyd to come now and form an organization again. I'm going to repeat it again, Bahamian for Peace, Prosperity, and Progress, which is an organization deals on helping those in need. So it's going to be a very difficult task because it's a big, big initiative. Urban Renewal alone can't do it. But I think a combined effort for Bahamians for Peace and Prosperity and Progress, and working with Mr. Lloyd, who's now speaking to international investors, Bahamian millionaires, to give back to their country. And here's how it's going to impact many lives in the future, because this is an organization not bent on a one-year organization. This is a lifetime organization. Even when we pass away, this year will still be going to make sure that we can lend a hand to our brothers and sisters. We're going to seek out those in need, those homes that Urban Renewal miss, to come in and help repair and show them that we care about them in this country. So that's what we're doing. My organization is Movement for Change. Means we want to change from the old way, the way things govern in this country now, to help those in need, where we can have an independent people under rules and regulation that we can abide by, that we could live by, that can guarantee and take us into the future as a blessed nation under one God. And what that means, the blessing of God will be on us, because if we help our neighbors, our brothers and sisters, then we will be blessed, our children will be blessed, and our crime will deteriorate, our poverty will deteriorate, and then we become a people again where we could have once walked into one another's home and get a plate of food, when we could have spanked one another's children, when we could have leave our homes open and no one would steal nothing out your homes. Not today, like where we are burglar bars, police officers armed with AK-47, young man armed with AK-47, and vice versa. We want it to be a nation where we can be proud to say we are Bahamians. So, again, Bahamians for Peace, Prosperity, and Progress. Here's how you can assist those in need. Because, listen closely, you can be an investor to any one of these homes in any one of these communities. Once we do an analysis on the home and see what the home needs. Windows, doors, roof need repair. We would put it online. You can donate $5 to $10 to Bahamians for Peace, Prosperity, and Progress towards that home. You could buy a wire, you could buy some screws or a shingle, and then you can see where your money goes, and it goes to helping that family. And that could be anyone. You don't have to come down and actually see it yourself. If you want to, it's no problem, but some people are anonymous, so they can give to the organization, and once it's given to the organization then will go and put it into the hands of the contractors, who would be persons from the community, who would then go in and repair the home. And that's your little funds. And that's how we can do to make our country better. So I'd like to say thank you for listening to the Movement for Change update. I'd like to say thank you to Hugo, and thank you to Jeffrey Lloyd and group of companies for taking this initiative, because I think now that we're going to have a better Bahamas, and I think we are headed in the right direction. So I'd see you next week on the Movement for Change update.
That this community, if it ever is going to be built, upgraded, developed, advanced, must be on the backs of you and I, and people like Scrooge, who decides against maybe some rather insurmountable odds, and despite the contrary and maybe some obstructing winds that confront him, no money and no community support, certainly no political support, to decide on his own that he will forge through this community and to awaken our people to an understanding of their inner dignitary worth and value, and to assist them in realizing that through their own grit and the grace of God, they can make a better lives for themselves and their family. This center is a testimony to that unwavering and uncompromising commitment, as resident in the person called Valentino Scrooge Brown.
I was told he would not meet me in front of other people. He would not come out of the shadows, so I had to go at 10:30 at night all by myself outside in the dark to meet Scrooge. I was terrified, I can't lie. Immediately my spirit took to him. And I said to him, he explained what he wanted to do, and I said, Scrooge, I can't help you fundraise. I'm already fundraising for Ranfleet. But I can help you to be your voice, to put your vision, your great vision, down on paper. And I can help you to connect the dots. Because that's all we can ever do in our little country, is help each other to connect the dots and to network and take care of each other in any way possible.
Too often we get it wrong. And I was saying to someone not too long ago, oftentimes we talk about pumping more resources into communities. But how do we do it? We take someone from another community who we may have a relationship with, or who's a part of our party in some way, or who's a relative, and we say, find some people. We're going to send you into Beantown, or Grantstown, or Pinewood Gardens. And you do what we tell you to do. It's a flawed model. And it will never work. We will never see transformation in our communities if we don't go into those communities as private citizens and empower people like Scrooge. He's been doing it for more than 20 years. How can I walk into Grantstown and tell Scrooge what needs to happen in Grantstown? How can I do it? What sense does it make? And there are many like Scrooge throughout the length and breadth of the Bahamas.
You can have faith, but it doesn't mean nothing if you don't put the work in. So this is faith without work. This is me 20 years ago envisioning this property right here. And this is how this property was. I'm going to pass it around to each one of you. From 1994, I was 18 when I came and I started this project. Now I'm 42. And I've done 20 years of community service for what I've done wrong in the country to give back. I produce enormous athletes. because the Bahamas right now is excelling off them. They're making the Bahamas proud. But this is just some of the work we can do individually if we put our mind and soul in it. And I did it without a dollar. I did it. The persons coming and helping me drop off a truckload of sand. Someone gave me a old 2x4 and plywood, and then Mr. Lloyd and Uni August, Mr. B from Switzerland, Mr. Brown, who was in the background, all of them came and they helped me with this project, and also Mr. Boswick. But this is just what we can do as a country. When you look at these pictures, you can see what you can do to a community, and that's what we're doing now. We're building the community, and we're building the Bahamas, and each and one of you are going to be a part of it. Think about it.